Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. It is July 24th, 2017, and I'm here this afternoon with our physicist. Doctor, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Scott. And how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2 times now that I've pulled up the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory, and we're just going to go ahead and get right into this. I'm going to share my screen with all of you because we just feel that something strange is going on. I mean, it may be absolutely nothing, but I've never seen this before on the SDO. And what we're looking at here, we're looking at the sun. This is a 48-hour loop. However, you've seen me use this purple imaging before, but it's never been like this. And what we're looking at here, if you look down below in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see a bunch of numbers ticking by, and you're going to see 3 colors: green, red, and purple. Those are the different angstroms, as they call it. Doctor, are you able to explain that to everybody? What these,
Yes,
what the SDO sees?
It's 3 different ultraviolet wavelengths. The purple is the 211. I believe the blue is the 350. And then there is one other one. I cannot quite see which one it is. It's the 304, maybe. Let me see.
Yeah, it says the 211, I believe the 030, and
yes.
the 171. Or excuse me, the 304 and the 171.
Oh, okay. So the 171 is actually the yellow one, but we see blue there, which is strange.
Yeah, now the other day, folks, whenever we were doing our live stream with Prep Aussie, I went to pull up the SDO, and this happened. And I mean, you can clearly see that someone has done what we call an overlay.
Yes.
So they are able to overlay these different images. So they have overlaid the 211, the 304, and the 171.
Yes.
To give you the image that you see on your screen. But you can't do that. You could not do that on the SDO website. Now you can do composite overlays on the Helio viewer. Oh, now it's gone completely blank. Look at this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's something very strange is going on. This hides a lot of what's going on, actually, because if you look at the bottom, even in the image you had before, it's totally gone now.
Yeah, this is weird. And it makes you wonder, folks, what are they doing? What are they trying to do here?
Yeah.
I mean, I took a video of it. Now, this is what it's supposed to look like right here with this this purple image.
Yes, it's the 211.
48-hour loop. Let's see if it does it again. Oh, well, looky what we have here.
There we are. Finally.
The minute we start talking about it, the minute we start talking about what is NASA trying to hide, because this is twice.
Yeah.
This is twice that the imaging has been overlaid. Maybe are they trying to take something out of the image?
Yes, I think we do still have some strange things going on. If you look at about 10 o'clock, you see that there's something going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of solar flaring, a lot of filament action right here.
Yeah.
See a couple of these prominences up here, but
yes.
Very large coronal hole on the top surface of the sun. And this coronal hole over here, all of this is now moving away from the Earth. And a very interesting, very active region, dead center right here. And it does look like there is an opening starting to form. Watch it very carefully.
Yes.
Starting to open up.
Yeah, there's lots of coronal holes and things. But, I look at these prominences, and to me, I've never seen so many of them on the sun. If you look at about 5 o'clock, there was another one, and I'm starting to think that a lot of these prominences are not normal, that they may actually be produced by the objects that we know are in the sun's corona. I'm not
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
all of them will be produced that way, but there were just too many on the sun right now. You can see there's another one at 5 o'clock.
yeah, I could see it right down here.
It's just too many. It's not normal. It's not normal to see so many in the sun's corona. As we know, we have many objects in the sun's corona that are absorbing its energy. And so it's possible that they actually are forming these sort of holes in the corona.
Yeah, this is very, very strange. So just as we begin to talk about this again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up the actual video that I took, because whenever I was getting ready to just start taking a look and seeing what's been going on with the sun today, this is what I come up with. And this is the second time that this has happened. And this is going to be the actual video that I just took a few minutes ago before we started the live stream.
Yes.
And again, if you look down in the lower left-hand corner, you can see the 3-layer overlay that they were using right here.
Yes.
And this is what I was viewing. But what I wanted to view was just the purple imaging, which shows the big coronal holes and whatnot. But this is what I got for about, I'd have to say 15 minutes. And then the same thing yesterday when we were doing our live stream with Prep Aussie, I wanted to bring this up, and that is what I got.
Yeah. It's very strange, Scott, that they are doing this. But we know from what they have been doing for quite some time is doing everything possible to hide the fact that there are objects in the sun's corona. They use these cutoff lines. They make the sun turn in these 48-hour loops in circles and things like that. I think they're trying different ways of trying to hide the fact that these objects are in the sun's corona.
Or, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Or to, give them some time to make adjustments to the video and possibly get rid of whatever's there, because we've made a lot of discoveries on the SDO with the SDO. And again, this is the second day in a row that I go to pull this information up, and this is what I get. Now, I've never ever seen this happen before using the SDO website. Okay, I've never seen this before. Now, you can get a similar image to this because they do have, I'm just going to stop this for 1 second. You can get this type of imaging. Let me just jump out of here. If you go back to the SDO website, okay, you go pan down here, you can get that type of image right there. Pretty close. Okay, I can't blow that up or anything. Well, yeah, I can blow it up. That's right. So this is what they were actually showing us. But there's no video to this. All you get are a few still photographs, and then you click on a few other the little icons, and they show you the magnetic field lines on the sun and blah blah blah. Okay, but you never get this. You never get this in a 48-hour loop. Why is that? I mean, it's pretty interesting, quite colorful.
Yes.
Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what they're doing.
Yes, it does.
Let me reduce this a little bit. You know, and all we wanted to do, we wanted to just take a look and see what was going on. Now, here's another composite right here. And this is not in video either, folks. I mean, this is just a click on the icon and you get the composite. You see the three layers right there where my cursor is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing you right there. Just zoom in there. They're showing you right here what they're using. They're using the combination of the 211, the 193, and the 171. And this is for today. There's the timestamp.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? I mean, I know it's not a mix-up. Come on. I mean, we're talking about top-level, you know, astronomers, scientists, you know, NASA engineers. I mean, these guys aren't dumb.
No, not at all.
I mean, they know what they're showing.
Mm.
You know, and then I go and I click on this and I get a composite image.
Yeah.
Once again, second day in a row. And just to confirm it, you know, I asked the doctor, I said, hey, listen, can you do me a favor? You know, can you pull this up and tell me what you're seeing right now?
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, she was seeing the same thing. And I just decided, okay, let me get a screen capture of this, you know, just to make sure. But we do see a lot of action on our sun. And, you know, what's been bothering me lately, folks, is that you listen to a couple of these other YouTube channels that do daily reports on the sun and space weather. And it seems to me that they're on the downplay bandwagon with everybody else, just like they were on the downplay bandwagon with that big sunspot AR 2665.
Yeah.
Okay. They said, oh, don't worry about it. There's no action. There's nothing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then it produces a massive CME.
Mm.
Now it is rotating around to the backside of the sun. And they're now saying that the massive CME explosion that occurred yesterday was due to the fact that AR 2665, that sunspot, blew again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't see the backside of the sun somewhat because they turned off stereo B, which was our view of the backside of the sun. Well, I say they turned it off. They say that they lost communication, whatever, the satellite was damaged, blah, blah, blah. Not buying that, okay, because we got tremendous images from the backside of the sun for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden that craft stops working.
Yeah. Mm.
And what did they say about that, doctor? What was the excuse they used?
Apparently, it had a device on it that was supposed to tell the spacecraft if it was in a spin or not. And they were just testing it because it was about to go in behind the sun, so there would be no communications for a while. And apparently this device malfunctioned and started telling the spacecraft that it was in a spin when it was not. So then the spacecraft tried to correct it, and then it put itself into a spin. And then when it is in a spin, it cannot gather enough energy from its solar panels, and then it keeps shutting down, and then it comes on again, and it doesn't have enough power because it's not able to gather enough energy. And whenever it turns on, it still gets the information that, oh, it's still in a spin. So that's the sort of thing that happened. It actually put itself in a spin because it was told. I think the operators were trying to get it to restart. And but the spacecraft didn't have enough energy. So I think every couple of weeks or so, they try to do something like restart. It's designed to restart when it doesn't have communications or something like that. So I can't quite remember all the details, but it was all about this device telling it that it was in a spin when it was not actually in a spin.
Now, as far as what we're looking at right now on this view from the 304 on the SDO.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you yourself, do you see a sun that has no action? I mean, I'll just put it in layman's terms.
I was going to say that just a few weeks ago, some people were saying that the sun was going into a so-called grand solar minimum, and it was completely incapable of X-class flares. Well, the sun has just had an X-class flare. You know, the sun going into a solar minimum, yeah, well, yes, it's supposed to become less and less active, but when it has an X-class flare, then we cannot say that it's actually becoming more active. We haven't seen these sort of X-class flares like we saw just the other day. It was just amazing. So I think it's getting more and more active. And I think that instability may be because of all these objects that we know are in the sun's corona. And of course, what they are doing is pulling the sun's magnetic field out. They are drawing energy from the sun. Whenever an object's energy is decreased, it seems, from what I have observed from these objects, that it loses its ability to hold on to its plasma. So in other words, the plasma gets looser, so to speak. So it is able to get spewed out into space more easily than before, basically. So I think maybe this is what's happening with the sun. Basically, these objects, these brown dwarf stars in the inner solar system, with their high magnetic fields and the fact that they are magnetically connected to the sun and drawing on its energy, are causing the sun to basically become even more active than it was before, even perhaps closer to the solar maximum.
Interesting, because there looks like there's a hell of a lot of activity on that sun to me.
Definitely.
I mean, they keep saying every morning during this one particular morning report on YouTube, everything looks fine, nothing to worry about, you know. And then whenever you have the massive explosion on the sun with the big CME, well, I mean, there's nothing that you could say about that other than there was a massive, you know, a coronal mass ejection that was absolutely massive. Now, even though that was not Earth facing, that energy from the sun just basically went everywhere. It looked like a combination of two very large explosions, possibly three. The third one was actually small. Actually, that would have been the first one that was actually starting the whole event. And then we moved into the bigger explosion, and then that big pop, which just emanated all the way around the entire sun. Just a huge, it looked like a huge shock wave.
Yes.
Is what it looked like. So, you know, once again, folks, as we keep on poking around and, you know, trying to find out what exactly is happening, you know, we have people that are trying to stop us on a daily basis. There's no doubt about it. You know, I think what the big scare is, you know, I keep announcing every day that the doctor's getting closer and closer and closer to finishing her book. Doctor, what chapter did you finish today?
Chapter 8. Yes, chapter 8 was, yeah, I was writing quite a bit about your blue-brown dwarf today.
So in the course of the day, you're up pretty early.
Yes.
By 5:36 a.m. You immediately start working. How many hours a day are you putting in on this book?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I work sometimes 12 hours, or I don't just work on the book. I work on some articles, and I sometimes prepare one to make a video. But today I really got engrossed with writing this chapter. And yes, I'm very happy with it, with what I came up with, which
Yeah,
people will be able to see once they read the book.
Yeah, everything's going along pretty good. You know,
Yes.
and folks, you know, nobody, you know, any of these authors that come out with these tell-all books, man, they don't like that.
No.
They don't like that. And there's going to be some people out there after the first book is released, as soon as possible.
Yes.
There's going to be some people out there that are going to be really butthurt.
Yes.
And they're going to look like fools. And they're going to be right in the belly of the biggest conspiracy ever on this planet. Forget about the JFK conspiracy. Forget about the Watergate conspiracy. Forget about even what I thought was the biggest conspiracy on the face of this planet was 9/11. This is even bigger.
Oh, yes. I like to say this is the biggest cover-up in the history of the world. And that is all these objects. These are brown dwarf stars in the inner solar system, in the sun's corona. And they've been hiding this from the Earth's population for years, for 30 years or more. It's unbelievable.
Oh, my buddy Pete's in there. Hey, Pete, how you doing? Pete's saying to take a look at the LASCO C3. The sun is venting from impacts.
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take Pete's advice right now, because Pete's been involved in this for a long time, folks. And if you're not subscribed to Pete's YouTube channel, click on his avatar, go over to his channel, make sure you subscribe, because Pete's been on this for a long, long time, like a lot of us, and he's got valuable information. And hey, that's what we are all looking for. We're all looking for the information. We're all trying to solve this. Definitely, this is a big puzzle. So we're definitely trying to solve the puzzle. We're going to go ahead right over here and we're going to take a look. We plug in some dates here real quick. Oops. It said the C3, so we're going to go ahead and check out the C3 real quick. Now, that was the CME.
Yes, well, it was actually a couple of CMEs all together, I think. Oh,
okay, yes, I did see this. I did see this morning, folks. What Pete's talking about, if you pay attention, right up here where my cursor is, you're going to see the continual venting here, here, most definitely. Now, that's definitely on the back side where that sunspot, AR 2665, should be located about right now. Yeah, that's definitely, right. There's no doubt about that. It's definitely venting heavily.
Wow.
You know, folks, and that shock wave that came off of the sun from that CME, let's just face it, that was a massive explosion. It doesn't look that dramatic on the C3. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the C2, which is the red imaging. We'll just pull that up real quick. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit.
Yes.
And you'll see this venting. That's what Pete's talking about right there.
And perhaps we should look at our magnetosphere to see if it's being impacted by high density.
Yeah, we will do that. See, folks, whenever you see that massive shock wave that comes out, You know, the idiot debunkers were, you know, making their stupid public service announcement videos, telling everybody that this is normal. I mean, if you want to say it's normal for the sun, okay. But to inform people that this type of situation is nothing to worry about, that is just completely 100% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That is wrong to do to people. That's like taking a blind man by the hand and helping him cross the street in front of a bus. And you tell him, okay, Mr. Blind Man, everything's okay. The coast is clear. Go ahead, cross the street. And then he gets mowed over by a bus. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's what these people want to do. They want to make sure that you have the wrong information, that you cast, or they cast that doubt into your mind, that maybe the people that you are listening to aren't telling you the truth. Well, what do we have to gain by not telling you the truth? Why do I spend 12 to 14 hours a day plugging away, investigating and researching and trying to do everything we can to bring people to this platform to let them know what threat we're under? You know, I got this one idiot down there in Texas that goes by the name of Logan Runnin. He's one of the old henchmen of Daza, the dipshit cameraman. I mean, this guy's a complete idiot. He's a grease monkey mechanic, which I don't have nothing against mechanics, but all of a sudden, you know, he's going to be debunking videos that deal with Planet X and outer space. I mean, where is this guy's education? His education is in fixing dirty motors on minivans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what he does. So he was making videos saying, oh, now Scott's coming out and saying that Nibiru doesn't exist, which is completely false. So folks, all they do is, you know, they want to cast that doubt and make you doubt our credibility, but we try to show you everything firsthand. We try to show you where to go get the information, where to see the information for yourself, so you can see it for yourself. And the doctor does help to try to educate all of us by explaining to us what we're seeing, what these instruments do, how they operate, how they work, what they're there for. So where do the lies begin? Is there a planet Nibiru? Hey, listen, until we get an absolute confirmation on this, I can't say yes, I can't say no. But the fact of the matter is, my investigations and the doctor's investigations and research have centered in on what is occurring on and near our sun, because these are the critical situations that could, you know, bring something to the forefront like the CME that we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Folks, if that would have been Earth facing, we would not be having this conversation right now, because we would probably have no power. Nothing would work. The power grid would probably be severely damaged around the world. You would have no cell phone, no internet, probably no electricity, and Lord knows what else. We're already seeing these absolutely intensely pink skies around the world, anomalies everywhere in the sky. We know that they're trying to cover things up with the chemtrailing, and Lord only knows what else they're deceiving us with. Remember, they cannot afford to lose control of the world population. If they did, well, they would be in trouble. So they're going to do everything they can with disinformation campaigns, defamatory campaigns, threatening, scaring, trying to scare you, intimidating you, threatening you, blah, blah, blah. Well, none of that shit works on me.
Yeah, and One thing I'd like to say is that these people, the powers that be, have taken the money that the governments get from taxes, which normal people pay, and they have diverted the money to build themselves safe shelters. Whilst instead they were supposed to spend money, because they knew what was going to happen, on reinforcing the power grids, coming up with plans for when the power grids might fail. And yet they've done nothing. They've done nothing to help any of the common people on this planet. They've only helped themselves.
That is true. I don't even have to.
Nothing to
That
help.
is true. That is very true. It's a sad day whenever you realize that. You know, what are we all fighting for each and every day? You know, I mean, it may not seem like it, but you know, you fight to survive. You go to work, you pay bills, you pay taxes. Hopefully you get old, and then, you know, you pass away and you move on to another life, if that's how it goes. But, you know, we've entrusted these politicians and these governments. We put them in these positions. Well, maybe we didn't. You can't trust any election anymore. The fact of the matter is, folks, we have some serious issues brewing around our sun and with our sun. And in a matter of about 2 weeks, maybe a little more, that huge sunspot, AR 2665, is going to be moving back around and coming around the left side of the sun. And it's going to be once again Earth facing. So what are they going to do then? Are they going to tell us there's nothing to look out for? There's nothing to worry about? But yet on the 23rd of July, we see this massive explosion on our sun. And now, as Pete has mentioned, the sun is now venting heavily, and that is probably coming from that sunspot on the backside of the sun, or else something else occurred back there that we don't know about, because we can't see back there anymore. And who did that? They're going to put a probe, you know, a big space camera, stereo B, A and B, and all of a sudden they're going to have a malfunction. So all that money is floating around like a big piece of space junk. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that one bit. They turned the damn thing off. They turned the public feed off for a reason, because they didn't want us to have a full 360-degree view of the sun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right, Scott.
You know, I go on and on and on about this, you know, and I'm tired of being deceived, but there's nothing that I can do. I'm just a common man. I can't fight the government. And that's not what I'm here for. We're here to uncover what is exactly happening. And that's kind of hard to get to, folks. You know, we were supposed to have a live stream early this morning, once again with Prep Aussie. You know, he's uncovered some more data, some more information, and we were going to share some things again with all of you. And then, you know, all of a sudden he's got serious computer issues, and then so do I at the same time. The exact same time. I've been fighting the computer issues all day since about 2 o'clock this morning. So the threat of not allowing this information to get out to you, you better believe that it is real. It is real 100%. What you see occurring right now on the backside of the sun, with that has to be that sunspot, or something else has occurred on the backside. but you can clearly see that venting on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
And that is spewing all of that solar energy directly into outer space.
Yes,
it just goes
probably
everywhere.
towards Mars.
Doc, doesn't that just go everywhere throughout the whole inner solar system? I mean, doesn't that reach all the way to the outskirts of our solar system?
Oh, yes, it does. Definitely, it does. In time, it gets all the way to the edge of the solar system, which is 100 AU away. Yeah, and we see it's not just venting from that side. There's some venting from the front side as well. And but the back side, I think, is facing Mars, and the front side would be more facing towards us. So I think we will get hit by some high density there.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, since we have all of you here real quick, we're going to go ahead and just take a look at the magnetosphere and the magnetopause and the solar wind real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what's happening. I have a video conference coming up in 45 minutes with YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I now have my own YouTube representative. She's very nice. And for some reason, it seems that they are interested in seeing my channel grow, and they would like to help me. So I'm going to have a video conference with my new representative, and we're going to see what they have to offer. Now, we don't see any flexing in the bow shock whatsoever, and things seem to be relatively calm.
I did see a little bit yesterday, some kinks in it.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that also. We're going to move right over to the magnetosphere. Let's see what's happening there. And then once again, you know, also, folks, we have to take into consideration that these are models that are manipulated and loaded by someone else that works for you-know-who, so they can actually show us anything.
Yeah.
But relatively normal.
It does look normal. And again, yesterday I looked at it, and there was definitely high density around the bow shock. Seems to have been relieved at the moment.
Yeah, let's just spread this out here real quick. Yeah, the solar winds are, you know, they're a little high.
They are. That's
roughly,
fast solar wind speed.
Yeah, moving up pretty close to 750 kilometers per second. So, you know, the solar wind speed is getting up there. The density is relatively low or normal. But again, I mean, we have to rely on what they're giving us.
Yeah, it's not bad at the moment.
No, actually it's, you know, I mean, dealing with the actual solar wind speed, I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, we've seen it tremendously way worse than that.
Yes, over 3,000 kilometers per second we saw the other day.
We'll just take a quick look and see what the radiation levels are looking like here.
No. We're still seeing some particles coming from the backside, but not much. Some electrons.
I mean, it's slightly elevated. You know, nothing to be seriously alarmed. I mean, folks, we've all seen this before, where the entire satellite belt is completely engulfed, and then the entire region completely engulfed in the deep color red, which is just pretty close to off the chart.
Yes.
So things seem to be kind of normal at the moment. We could take a quick look at some earthquake data. I haven't had a chance to take a look at much, folks. I mean, they had my computer down probably about 10 hours.
Well, we do have, yes, do have some new earthquakes.
Oh, that was kind of deep.
101, yes.
Kilometers. Columbia, magnitude 4.6, very deep, 170 kilometers.
Yeah, that's in the mantle.
And what's happening up here in Waterville, Washington, a magnitude 0.333. That was right on the surface. How could that even be possible? Unless that was some kind of a blast of some kind.
Well, we sometimes get surface currents that can lead to a bit of shaking on the surface.
So you can see a nice little swarm of earthquakes encompassing California, Nevada, and a large portion of Southern California. Oklahoma, with its daily 2.3 earthquakes, they all refer to that as being something to do with fracking. What do we have there? Magnitude 5.
Depth 10.
Southern Mid-Atlantic Ridge, 10 kilometers. These aren't all the earthquakes either, folks. There's plenty more in the European region. Magnitude 5.2, only 15 kilometers.
That's 4.8 in New Zealand.
And a magnitude 4.8, 93 kilometers. Well, hopefully that dropped a boulder on Daz's house in the northern islands of New Zealand. Yeah, so it doesn't seem to be too much activity going on. What do we have up in here? A magnitude 4.7, 34 kilometers deep.
Well, I think actually we are getting so used to having 5 and 4 magnitude earthquakes all over the place that we don't even think that it's abnormal anymore. But if we compare with what it used to be, say, 10 or 20 years ago, we were not getting this kind of earthquake activity, I don't think.
You know, I couldn't even tell you because I wasn't following earthquake activity that far back.
Well, I've seen the graphs and how it has grown exponentially, the number of earthquakes in the last 30 years. So.
Well, this is our predictor model going from the 23rd of July through the end of the 29th into July 30th. Now you can see a stream of solar energy, basically very low plasma density. The radial velocity picks up pretty good there, but then there's going to be a steady drop off beginning on the 28th, going all the way down through July 30th. And you can see where the Earth is heading right into it.
Yeah. I think AR 2665 might be facing Earth again in early August.
Yeah, I think in about probably about 2 weeks. I'll have to get, try to get an exact timing on that. They were talking about it on spaceweather.com and a few other websites after watching and researching the CME that occurred. That was the first conclusion that they came to. See, folks, there's no doubt about it. We're definitely going to see. So in the next coming weeks, as that huge sunspot turns back around the sun, it will once again be Earth facing. And the only thing we could do at that point in time is hope and pray that we don't see a coronal mass ejection like we saw on the 23rd. Or even going back to the, what was that, on the 16th?
Yes.
The 14th or 16th?
Yes, I think we were impacted on the 16th. So it was on the 14th that we had that large CME that was Earth directed. Yeah,
very, very interesting. Well, listen, folks, I am going to cut this live stream kind of short. I know you guys aren't used to that, but I have to get ready for this this video conference, and it should be quite interesting. I've been waiting all week to speak with my new YouTube representative because I have a lot to tell her. I have a lot to complain about. And one of the first things that's going to be one of my main topics is what can we do to shut these troll channels down? Shut the blasphemy down from these fools. And we'll see. We'll see what occurs. Doctor, any last words?
Well, as usual, Scott, thank you for having me. And I'd like to say that even though we may be going through bad times, this is actually a good time to get to know our Creator and rely on Him for help.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, folks, since I had all this computer problem crap here today and internet issues, I didn't get a chance to post 2 more of the reports that the doctor has prepared. If anybody is interested in those reports, using them for their own YouTube channels to create videos based on what her reports are saying. She has 2 great reports that came out. Later on this evening, whenever I'm finished with this video conference with YouTube, I'm going to put a video together and put those out there. And listen, I want to say thank you very, very much to all of the people. There have been literally hundreds of people per day that have been purchasing the doctor's reports and her abstracts. And that's been a big help for her because she does spend a tremendous amount of time and effort into those reports. At the same time, it is creating the spread of information through other people, and that's what we need to do. Now, not everybody has to jump on board and do this, but for the people that are doing this, my hat's off to you. You're doing a fantastic job. And the 2 reports that the doctor has, I'll put those into a video, make the announcement. And if anybody's interested in them, they know the process to get those reports. And the doctor's been spending a lot of time looking into this eclipse that is coming up. There's a lot of talk about it. People are getting stirred up about it. And we have our own theories, our own thoughts. And the doctor has prepared a great report on it, a great scientific report. It's going to raise some eyebrows. There's no doubt about that. So all of you, make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you check your notifications on your YouTube channels that you follow. Make sure that you are not being kept in the dark, and make sure that you, the people, are not being deceived. That's a key factor, folks. This is Scott from Planet X News and the Nibiru channel here with the Rogue Physicist. We really appreciate you watching and being here with us. Stay tuned.